Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Tampa Bay, Florida, home of the Buccaneers, Raymond James Stadium. And, well, what can I say? Look at that track. It is a swampy mess. We've gotten rainstorm after rainstorm heading into this event. Now, the skies will be clear for the event, but the damage has been done to the track. As we take a look at your points heading into this sloppy mess, Evil Nexus and Son of a Digger in first place. He'll be joining me, actually, to do commentary on the freestyle. Behind him, Raisin Racer in Black Pearl with 88. Behind him, Sweats in Gravedigger. Not here tonight, giving people an opportunity under him to catch him in points. So who's going to step up tonight? Wild Side under him, followed by Northern Nightman Vendetta in 6th. TRD in 7th. Looking for a big night tonight. 8th place, El Toro Loco, foul. Bulldozer in 9th. You may recognize the guy subbing in for him and Brutus in your top 10. Let's get ready for some all-out destruction tour.
Are you talking guys with a sucking blade? Run destruction! Engines roar, skies ignite, metal beasts in endless fight, tires crush the earth, fuel-fed chaos giving birth, madness reigns, no retreat, feel the thunder, feel the heat, through the flames we rise, monsters in the sky. All out destruction, metal gods we rise. All out destruction, crush and burn, collide. Wheels of fury, worlds collide. All out destruction, unleash pride. All out destruction, metal gods we ride. All out destruction, crash and burn, collide. Wheels of fury, worlds collide. All out destruction, unleash
Taking a look at the race final for Event 5. This is a perfect opportunity for me to bring in my co-host for this event, Evil Nexus, because that is me and him in the race final. Evil Nexus obviously in first place. Evil Nexus out of Chesapeake, Virginia, known for dominating on the track. He's stepping into the booth to help me out this week. His opponent was Bulldozer, driven typically by Soul Halo, but that's right, that's me down there running this truck this week, and it was me and Nexus in the finals. Nexus, tell me a little bit about what goes into racing on a muddy track like this.
Well, when it comes down to running on these mud tracks, especially this one in particular, it's like driving around on a sheet of freaking ice. Most of the guys you see running this track, you see them just sitting there slipping and sliding, where a lot of tracks were just full throttle in the corners. You got to kind of let off, sink it back in there to get it right. I let off a little bit too much right there and foul into the run and gave it to you.
But you didn't give it to me, and you ended up picking up a big win and improving your points in first place, just leaving the competition in your dust.
Yeah, no, it was almost a little give on my part, but luckily was able to seal the deal on that one, even though you were definitely making me work for it.
And that's what makes this league so great, is the competitive nature of all the drivers. You know, you compare it to something like iRacing, where you see a bunch of real dedicated NASCAR fans doing the best they can to win each and every one of those races. And I feel like we do a lot of the same things here with monster trucks, because we grew up on this stuff. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, I've been getting some lucky breaks this week.
Well, there's lucky breaks and there's talent. I would say you're definitely talented. As we get ready for our first freestyler, this is Brutus So let's get ready for some all-out destruction tour freestyle. And our first contestant, Brutus, driven by Lucas Lyons out of Owensburg, Kentucky. Hasn't made it to every single show, but enough to stay in the point standings. Let's see what Brutus has to offer us. Nexus, what are you going to look for in Brutus in this run?
Looking for him to improve a little bit on his timing. He's gotten a lot better, but he's had issues of getting the DNF early on.
The DNF obviously standing for did not finish, which is something you definitely don't want to see as we get Brutus here going backwards, getting creative, but he's in trouble.
And there it is.
There it is. Unfortunately ending his run before 30 seconds. A hard lesson to be learned, but what can he do to avoid that in the future, Nexus?
Biggest thing with the new guys, just kind of working through the nerves of it all.
That's right. As we got Falf from Mooresville, North Carolina, El Toro Loco. As I've always said, Falf is such a showman. As we get ready to watch Falf do his run, that truck is covered in mud. The sun came out, but the track is still messy. Nexus, what kind of freestyling are we looking at here with such a muddy track?
It's definitely a lot harder to get the saves and the kind of the wow factor moments that a lot of the guys go for usually with these muddier tracks. I think Falf could pull it off though.
As you see Falf there, taking on the obstacles. Overall, a strong start for Falf. He wants to watch that wall. I imagine that we would see a lot of people hit that wall, but Falf doing a solid job there as he catches some big air. Now, how does this switch up Falf's approach to driving when he doesn't have the traction that he typically would have on a dry track?
You got to be a little bit more careful and a little bit more attentive as to where you're going and how the truck's handling it.
But you can still send it as we see Falf there just using these obstacles, trying to get those wheels to start getting any type of traction they can in that mud. Coming back the other way, north to south. Do you plan your freestyles out, Nexus?
No, I usually just kind of go for it.
As Falf and El Toro Loco goes for it here. Burning it down, I think that's what they call it. Burning it down.
Oh, yeah. You go out there with a semblance of an idea when you look at the track, but as far as trying to pre-plan it, nope, just shoot from the hip, see where you end up.
Falf bumps the wall, but he's about to get into bonus time here. Bonus time's where you get those big scores as Falf's in trouble.
Oh, shit.
Falf rolls El Toro Loco with some time left on the clock, and that might affect his score. Let's see what the judges say. 8.06 for El Toro Loco and Falf.
I mean, for the most part, getting up in them 8s is definitely a good place to be. You're looking to get at least above an 8.5, because that usually means you're going to be above more than half the pack. That elusive 9 is what everybody wants.
Yeah, that 9, a hard number to come by in freestyle. So Nexus, I noticed that this year you're driving Son of a Digger in the Racehorse chassis. What's the difference between this truck and some trucks that you've driven before?
I mean, this one compared to last season, I ran an XD last season. The Wilman was definitely a floppier option, as Falf can attest to.
Yeah, Falf driving El Toro Loco, which is a Wilman, which is one of the older style chassis. As Nexus sets up, big air there, almost whipping that truck like a dirt bike. It reminds me of a dirt bike whip. Now, when you're doing these runs, I see that you almost kind of look like you're attacking the track as opposed to just kind of planning things out. Is that something that goes into your strategy when you're doing these freestyle runs?
Well, yeah, end all be all. It's a lot better to watch and a lot more enjoyable if you're just out here giving it all she's freaking worth rather than just kind of kicking back and driving.
Yeah, you want to put on a good show, something that's going to really have people excited to come back and watch you race again next week as Nexus sets up for a big jump here. Gets a little wild into a nose wheelie, and he stops that just in time for the wall. Wow. Were you worried about that wall at all? You seemed in complete control of that truck.
I was getting a little worried as much as I was sliding. If you were able to go back and watch that one again, you'd see I slid on the front tires for a good minute there.
Yeah, very sketchy, especially with that rain. As you throw out a backflip, the first truck to throw out a backflip of the night, is it much different throwing out a backflip in these muddy conditions? As you throw out a bicycle.
Yeah, you definitely got to force these trucks to be able to get anything like that going.
Yeah, forcing it seems like the only way to really get these trucks to do anything technical in the mud because it's just so darn slippery out there. As Nexus heads into his final 10 seconds, Nexus, what do you feel in these final moments of your run?
I'm giving it everything she's worth, and if it stays on all four, cool. If not, at least I ended it with a bang.
As Nexus finishes his run here, let's see what the judges give Evil Nexus, my co-announcer for today. Evil Nexus with 8.96. That's good enough for first place. That's got to feel good, Nexus.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
As you see here, we want the track to be even for everybody. So that's why we got Engine 86 out here re-wetting the track. We haven't had rain, but you know what? We wanted to keep it fair, right, Nexus?
Oh yeah, you got to make sure it's fair for everybody across the board.
So if she starts drying out, we're going to re-wet her. As thank you to Lurch and Engine 85. As next up, I think some of you may recognize this guy. Yep, that's me out there driving for Blake in Bulldozer in my PEI chassis. But Blake runs a racehorse. What do you notice is the major difference between all these chassis, Nexus, and what is your favorite to drive? Because you've driven a lot of different ones.
When it comes down to the chassis, PEI, like you're saying, is fragile. CRC is kind of good for racing. Racehorse is just the all-arounder, and Willman is probably the most fun for freestyle. And as far as what I prefer, the Willman.
The Willman, yeah, the Willman is a very fun truck. As you see me trying to whip it, maybe not as stylish as Nexus, but I was still able to get that butt around. And all as that, I tapped the wall. Now, what goes into these announcers? Of course, you're one of the leaders, if not the leader of AODT. What goes into turning a truck off? When do you guys know what you're looking for? As I destroy the whole back end of this truck.
When it's coming to these shutoffs, you know, we try to do it as realistically as possible within reason because it's in a video game. And we try to keep the mentality of more old school Monster Jam.
Yep, as you see there, catch some big air. Now, you may see on the screen that these tires are gone, but within my truck, those 4 tires were there. Unfortunately, with Beamng, the desync that happens is what you see in front of you, where the truck I'm driving still has 4 tires, but this, what you guys are seeing is a little different. Normally, I point this out when this happens, just so you guys at home aren't confused as to why this truck is somehow still driving. Desync, just one of those things that come with the territory of being a Beam monster truck driver.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's gotten better as the game's progressed and updates have rolled out, but it's still an issue, as you can see.
As you see, Bulldozer get into bonus time here. I was a little lost out there. I'm in my rookie season. What's the most important thing that you want to see these rookies do?
Honestly, the biggest thing is just getting over the nerves, like I was saying with Lucas's run.
As I go reverse style here, it's something I do all the time. As what is that?
Crap.
You know what? When you're sitting in a truck, I had no idea what happened. I just saw everything spinning around. 8.83 for me and Bulldozer, which is good enough for second place behind Evil Nexus, who's still holding down first place. As we get a look at Mile Proto out of Lloydminster, Alberta, Canada, driving Northern Nightmare. It's suiting because he's Canadian. As he gets ready to start off that jammer there, throws out a nice little slap wheelie. Longer trucks, a plus or a minus in your opinion, Nexus? Because that truck does look a bit longer in the chassis than a lot of the other trucks.
For the race styles we're going with this season, I'd say they're honestly a little bit better.
A little bit better. Now, Mile Proto from Canada, somebody who's been in these leagues before. Have you seen him progress? Where do you see him improve?
He's definitely been stepping up a little bit. He needs to work on consistency. I'd say that's really it. I've seen him put down some mad fast passes, and I've seen him do some good freestyles. It's just you gotta get the consistency there.
Yeah, and he's also a wheel guy. So wheel guy, you know, some of these guys drive on controllers, some of us drive on wheels. I'm a wheel man myself. Next is a controller guy, so you can get a little bit of different perspective here. We kind of look at this as an esport. That's at least how I approach it, which is why I put so much care into these videos, and I want to get Nexus's expert opinion, who's been doing this a lot longer than me. So, Nexus, what are you seeing in this run right now? And it looks like he's got some back edge damage there.
Yeah, he broke that that left rear 4-link off. I mean, as far as his run, he's got a good little thing going. He just had to work on his momentum. Yeah. He's got a lot of open time. That
rear wheel giving him all sorts of trouble right now. If you ever get in a situation like this, what do you do to try to salvage the run if you can? Is he still getting into bonus time?
Me personally, I just aggressively hit everything in front of me at that point.
And he's in trouble, and that's going to be it. Okay, I don't think he's going to save it. And that's going to be it as he gets shut off with 18 seconds left on the clock. That's going to affect the score. 8.06, though, from Mile Proto in Northern Nightmare. Not a bad run at all. As we get ready here to see Elle Wheeler, our lone female competitor from Fenton, Michigan in Time Flies. What have you seen from Elle Wheeler this season?
She's kind of been the wild card. She's been coming out of nowhere and hurting some guys' feelings that nobody really anticipated.
Yeah, and I feel like being the lone female comes with a lot of pressure to, represent for your whole entire gender.
Oh yeah, I'd imagine she feels a little bit of pressure being the lone female amongst all the guys, but she's coming out here and showing she ain't afraid to run with the boys.
Yeah, as we've seen in Monster Jam, so many more female drivers making their rounds in the tours. Who's some of the female drivers you think are really standout stars?
Cynthia Gauthier, I think is how it's pronounced. She's always one to watch out for.
Yeah, Lucas Stabilizer.
Yep, Lucas Oil Stabilizer. Kayla Blood, she's always kind of a wild card. I know when she was in Soldier Fortune, she was an absolute demon sometimes on the track.
Yeah, the females definitely representing big time in Monster Jam these days. Did you see a nice slap wheelie there from Elle Wheeler? Her husband obviously drives Carolina Crusher D Wheeler as Elle Wheeler gets in trouble.
Uh-oh.
She's trying to save it. And I don't think she's gonna...
Nope.
47 seconds left on the clock. That's definitely gonna hurt her score. Anything you could have seen her do differently there as we wait for her score to pop up?
Honestly, just kicking in the rear steer probably would have saved her. She would have kicked it just a little earlier.
So a 7.26 for Time Flies. I'm sure that she felt that she could do more on the track, but, a respectable score nonetheless. As we get a look at Eggs Benedict out of York Springs, Pennsylvania, driving Destroyer. Next is, what have you seen from Destroyer and Eggs so far this season?
He's somebody that's still trying to progress. He's kind of been doing his own thing with the truck tunes and just trying to figure out his own way and not asking for a whole lot of help, which is always cool to see. But he does need to get that truck dialed in a little bit better before he can really start being competitive.
Yeah, and I've always noticed with Destroyer, it's either hot or cold. Either he's running super fast or he's having a lot of trouble. And sometimes that hot or cold can work against you. As he's throwing out a bit of a donut here. Donuts in freestyle, what's your opinion?
Time and place. I think they're cool if they're thrown in the right ways.
Because I do feel like that time is so important. And while donuts are cool and they're traditional, sometimes you wonder if maybe that time would be better spent throwing out huge tricks, as Destroyer looks a little bit lost, almost like he's not sure what he wants to do next.
Yeah, and that's coming back to the whole thing where his truck, it's really bouncy and kind of hard to control for him.
And he's driving Racehorse, which you drive as well. Racehorse chassis, much stronger, a very solid racer, all around a popular chassis this season. What do you think that is?
It's stable, like you said. It's really solid. Like, you can absolutely abuse that truck, and it's going to hold together 9 times out of 10 for you.
As we look at Destroyer here abusing this Destroyer truck, and a little bit of desync issues there, which is why you're seeing the truck bounce a little late and a little awkwardly as he gets into bonus time now. Unfortunately, though, even though he's in bonus time, a little bit of a slow run, not a whole lot of energy here, Nexus. Where could you see him improve next week?
Biggest thing is just not being so afraid of the truck.
As he rolls it there, is able to save it. A solid save there, but maybe a little too late?
Yeah, I'd say it's a little too late. He's bringing some energy now, but the first minute and a half was just a lot of searching, like you were saying. He was a little lost.
And that's going to wrap it up for Destroyer, able to keep that truck all together. And he taps the wall, and that's going to wrap it up as we wait for the judges' score to come in. For 7.86, Nexus, do you think that score fits that run?
Yeah, if anything, I'd honestly say it was a little high, just because of how slow he was in the beginning.
What do you think the judges look for before you get into that A territory, which seems to be the area you want to get into, as we get ready to look at Overkill from Houston, Texas, driving Vendetta?
The biggest thing that everybody's going to be looking for is, how much control that you have of the truck when you're hitting these big jumps. Keeping up the energy, throwing in a couple of, two-wheel skills.
As we get ready to take a look at Overkill in Vendetta, what a beautiful truck.
Absolutely gorgeous truck, and he's one of the newer ones to the server as well. And he's kind of been showing up and showing off a couple of these events.
I will say I've seen him in racing, and I feel like he's just waiting for a couple breaks to go his way, but a solid driver from what I've seen.
Oh yeah, no, he's definitely had his moments where he's looked like he's going to be the one to beat, and he just has a little oopsie poopsie here and there.
And I think that goes back to what you're saying about the stress levels, because I think that people would be surprised about how nervous you are sitting on the starting line getting ready to run one of these races. And while these leagues aren't for money, I definitely think that pride influences us. He's in trouble early on in his run. That is not good.
Oh no.
And that's going to be
yeah.
a 4.7 for Vendetta, unfortunately for him, coming up short. And here's one of the stars of the Saturday Tour, Black Pearl, currently sitting in 3rd place. What can you say about Raisin Racer?
Raisin is always kind of the sleeping giant. Nobody really brings him up when it comes to the threats.
Which obviously would be a huge mistake to underestimate Raisin. Of course, out of New York with that beautiful Black Pearl truck. One of the few guys on the tour who always runs the same truck every year. So you could see his loyalty to this truck.
Oh yeah. No, and like I was saying, as far as him being one of the real threats, everybody kind of sleeps on him because he's usually the quiet one of the group. But this man comes out every weekend, shows up, shows out for racing, and when it comes to freestyle, you can pretty much guarantee he's filling time.
And you can see him almost sitting there plotting out what he's going to do as he gets his first big air, starting the clock. What happens right after the clock starts? Is there a sort of panic that sets in where you're just like, okay, time's rolling, let's get going?
Exactly. I couldn't have said it any better myself.
As he hits that jammer. Always running the same song, too. This is a man of routines. He likes his routines. I guess the best way to say it is a man of repetition. He's got his schedule and he sticks to it. As he does a nice crossover there.
Oh yeah, he is definitely our Cole Bernard of the server. Nobody else is allowed to have Black Pearl but that man.
Hey, you know what? I say go for it. I've always felt like that's one thing that Monster Jam hasn't done as well recently, where they continuously move drivers around in different trucks, which, you know, us growing up watching monster trucks, we always associated these trucks with the driver, and I think that Raisin's doing a great job of building that reputation in AODT.
Oh yeah, he has it locked in. That is just kind of his truck, and if we don't see him in it, it's weird to look at.
What can we say? The man knows what he likes. Yeah, and obviously driving Racehorse as he gets in trouble. Nice save though, and that's just a veteran move right there. Didn't lose his composure, immediately got back on all fours, and he's right back to business.
Oh yeah, and that's kind of what it takes to be able to throw up these good scores in the freestyle. Even if you have a little mess up, just getting right back in it.
Yeah, as Raisin is just flinging around that body, he's like, get that out of here. We don't need that part anymore. As he spins that truck, getting prepared for his next hit. What's it going to be? A nice big air transfer. As he's just making use of time. He's in bonus time. What would you like to see him do here at the very end of this run?
Looks like he's setting up for it right now. Oh, no. Uh-oh.
Into a cartwheel. End over end he goes. And he's a bit in trouble, but it's okay. There was enough time left. So Black Pearl's going to get 8.73. Which, not enough to take first place, but it is enough to move him up into the top 3. So a solid run by Raisin Racer, driving his Racehorse chassis. As we get ready for the other half of the Wheeler family, in Carolina Crusher, D Wheeler. What can you say about D Wheeler this season?
He's been one that's been around for quite a while, and he's been shaking off some rust. He's getting better.
My rival, apparently. Fenton, Michigan, driving Carolina Crusher, D Wheeler, one of the guys that's really in the trucks IRL. Do you think that translates, being a truck guy in real life and a truck guy on the game? Can you see that translating?
To an extent. I know he does more of the mud racing. He's got his little lifted mega truck. I would imagine some of it does transfer for him over to this, especially while we're playing in the mud this weekend.
Yeah, some of the mud guys in the server very excited for the mud. Now, I see on the back of that Carolina Crusher, it says, got gas. What's the story behind that?
There was one time long ago during an event where he had a racing tune with barely any fuel in it, and he spawned that out for freestyle. He got about 2 jumps in and ran out of fuel.
And you hate to see that, but that's the story behind the got gas. As you know, Gary Porter and Carolina Crusher used to always write, have you driven over a Ford lately? And that was due to him in a Bigfoot incident, I believe, where he actually got up on top of Bigfoot and in some kind of crazy incident. As D Wheeler trying to avoid that wall, but so far, what are you seeing in this run? Anywhere to improve?
He's keeping up the energy. Honestly, I'd say just being able to hit the jumps a little bit more straight on so he can get the flow going. He's spending a lot of time trying to correct the truck to get it going for the next one.
Nice crossover there, avoids that wall. What are the judges looking for specifically that would separate someone from a 7 and an 8 score?
The big air, the biggest thing is just, ooh.
Yeah, that's going to be a shutoff for D. Wheeler. Unfortunately, he didn't get in the bonus time. So I don't know what anything he could have done differently there with a 7.40 for D. Wheeler. As you can see, I finally put the scores back in. As we get a look at Sid, who's another rookie in Rage.
Going back to Wheeler's run, the biggest thing he could have been really doing is just, like I was saying, keeping up the momentum. He just had a lot of time kind of shopping around for his next hit.
Yeah, and that ends up, the more time you spend thinking, the less time you spend in the air, which can eventually hurt your scores. And maybe he thought too much because it did end his run early.
Oh, yeah.
And as we get ready to take a look at Sid, Sid actually came in from the Wheeler group, part of their little group within AODT. What have you seen from Sid this season? Room to improve? Solid racer. Him and Tay have a nice little rivalry going on Saturday Tour.
Sid is, he's been progressing quite a bit. He is somebody who is brand new to this. And he's definitely made quite a bit of improvement over a short time. He's just got to work on the racing aspect of consistency, and I think freestyle, he's got it. He's just got to stay safe a little longer.
Stay safe a little longer, and it's looking like he's taking your advice to heart as he's coming up on his first minute here, and pretty good energy. He's not blowing the roof off the place, but he's staying busy, staying active. He's using these jumps to the best of his abilities. He gets a nice crossover there. Where can you see an opportunity for anything where you could really wow the judges?
A little bit more on the throttle. He's got a lot of time off the throttle.
Yeah, and in that mud, it's really unfortunate too, because when you hit the throttle, those tires just keep spinning. And there is a nice big air for Rage. And you want to really keep that truck moving as he gets hung up on the car.
Uh-oh.
And that car says, "No, sir, you are staying here with me." And that's going to wrap it up for Sid. Unfortunately for Rage, he gets a 7.73, though. Not a bad score for Rage. Probably not what he had in mind, but I've seen worse.
I thought it was pretty fair.
As we get ready to look at our final driver tonight, Tay Tuval out of St. Louis, Missouri. What have you seen from Tay this season?
He's definitely somebody who's been stepping up, progressing. He's definitely making his mark.
As he comes out and smacks the wall a little bit before his run even gets started. As he throws out a nice little wheelie there. One of our rookies who's really come along. Obviously, the rivalry between him and Sid that's played out in racing all season has Tay up 2 races to 1. A rivalry Tay likes to make sure everybody knows about in the chat.
Oh, yeah, I definitely see these two kind of button heads as we go forward.
I would say the rivalries within AODT are what make some of the races a lot more fun, a lot more interesting. As Tay gets himself in trouble there. And is he going to be able to save it? Big save for Tay Tuval. Yeah, he was able to flick it around. As he's going to be coming up on his first minute.
Some huge air.
Yeah, some big air from Tay in that CRC chassis. What do you see in the CRC chassis that makes people so attracted to it?
Honestly, just like you were saying earlier, how long it is, it feels a little bit more planted, a lot easier to work with.
Yeah, if you look at those shocks, they stick out, giving drivers a lot more traction when they race. As Tay is just trying to make use of his run. He's sliding around on the mud. He's getting ready to come in on bonus time as he's setting up something big here. And it's a big jump for Tay as he gets in trouble again. And nice save there. That's surprise composure for a rookie that you don't see a lot.
No, he's definitely been making some progress on him. That was definitely a well thought out little move there.
And a nice wheelie there. He's going to have to throw out something big, though, if he wants to take first place. As Tay's setting something up here. He goes crab walking into this final turn, and he throws out. What would you even call that?
Corkscrew backflip? I got no idea on that one.
In BMX, they call that a flare. I've never seen one in a monster truck, but that's going to be it for Tay in TRD Racing Development. As he gets a 9.03, taking first place, surprise victory for Tay2 Valid, his first win of the season. So Nexus, what do you think about the freestyling that we saw today?
I thought it was pretty good across the board, all things considered, with this muddy track. A lot of these guys are still fairly new.
And we're going to have to hope going forward that we don't get the weather that we've had. So let's talk to our freestyle winner, Tay2 Valid. All right, so I'm here with Tay, our freestyle winner. Tay, your big win. You've been having a hard time in racing, but you're able to edge up your rivalry with Sid tonight in Rage and get to the semifinals, your first time there. And now winning your first freestyle, how are you feeling, my friend?
Not gonna lie, I'm super pumped. Like, this is a dream come true, to be honest. I've been waiting for this day since I first joined the league. I got so many jitters just flowing through my body right now.
And this is your rookie season too, so is this your first AODT win ever?
Yeah, first ever league I'm in, first ever win I've gotten. I hope more to come. I want to get a win in racing. I really hope I can get a run in racing. I was close tonight. This is the farthest I've ever made it.
Awesome. Yeah, you did really strong tonight. Look forward to seeing what you got in the future. That TRD Tacoma, you really got that thing tuned in and looking strong. We'll be keeping an eye on you in the future. Anything you want to say to the people before you head out?
Yeah, I really want to thank Nexus for allowing me to run in this league, and it's because of him I get to run the TRD. This is his truck. He's letting me borrow it for the season until I can get my own. I thank all the fans for watching and enjoying what we're doing. I'm doing this for them and a little bit of myself because I'm a kid at heart.
Who's your inspirations in Monster Jam? Who got you into monster trucks?
My dad took me to my first show when I was like 5, and ever since then I've loved Tom Mintz, but it's sad to see he's retired. Hopefully one day I could actually fill his spot. You know, never know what will happen.
Hey, if you keep driving like this, you might get some eyes. I know we're just virtual monster truck racers, but it does take skill, it does take talent to win. As you see, you know, Sweats has been undefeated all season long, and you're racing in what many consider to be the big boys league on Saturday. But you're looking good, man, looking strong. Keep up the good work, and we can't wait to see what you do in the future. So there you have it. Tay2 Valid out of St. Louis, Missouri, driving the TRD, picking up his very first victory in All Out Destruction Tour. So with that said, we have so many things that change in the point standings tonight. Evil Nexus picking up a win in racing in second place, wins the event with 120 points. In second place, Raisin Racing in Black Pearl with 105. Sweats driving Gravedigger wasn't here tonight, but he's still so damn fast that he's got 74 points in third place. In fourth place, we have TRD, Tay2 Valid, picking up his very first win ever in AODT or any Beam Monsters event. Followed by him is Northern Nightmare Mile Proto in fifth with 68 points. Me driving Bulldozer for Blake Soul Halo, I was able to help push him up to sixth place. After him, Wildside had a rough time tonight, but he's still in contention for World Finals with 64 points. After him, Vendetta, another rough night with 60 points. Then we have Falp with 59 points in El Toro Loco, and then Brutus wrapping up your top 10. Remember, the top 7 from your Saturday tour and your Sunday tour are guaranteed a spot into World Finals. So the things got shaken up. This mud caused all sorts of havoc. I want to give a special thanks to Evil Nexus for coming in and helping me narrate freestyle. Congratulations, Tay. But if you thought that Saturday freestyle was muddy and messy, you just wait for Sunday racing. Stuff is crazy. For All Out Destruction Tour, I'm your host, E.G. Lately. I'll see you next time.